Look at Atlanta, courtesy of EarthCam. Voters in Georgia heading to the polls tomorrow. The contested governor's race has the Republican Party split. Georgians will decide whether to vote for former U.S. Senator Brian Perdue, who has former President Trump's support, or re-elect Governor Brian Kemp, who has former Vice President Mike Pence's support. NewsNation correspondent Kelly Meyer is live at Governor Kemp's rally with the last-minute push to sway voters. Kelly.
Hey, Ruta Bay. Well, an interesting dynamic that you mentioned. It'll be interesting to see former Vice President Mike Pence take the stage rallying behind incumbent Governor Brian Kemp here tonight, while at the same time, former President Donald Trump will be joining a tele-rally for Kemp's challenger, former U.S. Senator David Perdue. It's highlighting the tensions not only here in Georgia, but between these two potential presidential hopefuls in 2024.
A vote for David Perdue is a vote to save Georgia.
Stacey Abrams and the media, they all came after us.
It's the final hours of the race for Republicans vying to be Georgia's next governor, with incumbent Brian Kemp and former U.S. Senator David Perdue leading the pack. Looming over the race, a fight for influence inside the party, with former Vice President Mike Pence breaking with his former boss in a battle of endorsements. Pence is behind Kemp, who won his race for governor in 2018. After serving for years in state government, while former President Trump is backing Perdue, a former U.S. Senator who narrowly lost his seat 2 years ago. Pence will spend Election Eve rallying with Kemp and supporters, working to close the deal in a race where Kemp has a big lead in the polls, while Trump will appear at a Monday night tele-rally with Perdue, a former senator who insists the polls that suggest he's losing are wrong.
First of all, they've not been close on outsiders like Donald Trump. They missed him in 16. They missed me dramatically in 14, even in 20.
If Kemp wins the primary, he'll have to unify Republicans for his expected rematch with Democrat Stacey Abrams in the fall.
If you win tomorrow, how do you plan to bring together both Trump supporters and your supporters, especially if Trump is actively campaigning against you?
I've had a great relationship with Mike Pence. I had a great relationship with President Trump. I've never said anything bad about him. I don't plan on doing that. I'm not mad at him. I think he's just mad at me.
After the drama and controversy of 2020, some voters say they've had enough of Trump, who so far has a mixed record in backing candidates this primary season.
I'm not happy at all. I have to say I voted for Trump both times, but he does not have my support because of the way he's badmouthed our state.
And today, Trump slamming Kemp in a post on Truth Social, calling Kemp, quote, the worst election integrity governor in the country. And Trump highlighting his win so far in this primary season. Trump's golden ticket, though, having some mixed reaction. You know, J.D. Vance in Ohio. We saw Doug Mastriano in Pennsylvania and Ted Budd in North Carolina all winning their respective races. But it wasn't enough. Trump's influence wasn't enough in races like for Madison Cawthorn in North Carolina and for Dr. Oz in Pennsylvania. We're still waiting to see the result now nearly a week after that election. Ruta Bay.
All right, Kelly, thank you. Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.